The hidden key to your entire life. What if everything you thought you knew about success, love, and influence was dead wrong? What if the real secret had nothing to do with how smart you are or the innate talents you possess, but everything to do with something far more elusive, yet entirely within your grasp? Your entire future hinges on this one, often overlooked power: the unseen force. Imagine walking into a room and before a single word leaves your lips, before anyone even sees your resume, something profound has already happened. Your brain, in mere milliseconds, has processed a symphony of subtle cues: the tilt of a head, the flicker of an eye, the unspoken energy in the air. You formed opinions, felt an undeniable emotional response, and instinctively adjusted your presence. Now, picture that same scenario playing out in a high-stakes conversation: a critical work meeting, a make-or-break first date, or a strained discussion with someone you desperately care about. What truly determines if you walk away feeling empowered, respected, and fully understood, or completely frustrated and unheard? It's not your intelligence, not your raw talent, and not even your years of experience. It's emotional intelligence. The invisible force that shapes every social interaction, dictates how you handle life's relentless challenges, and ultimately controls your ability to influence everyone around you. And here's the brutal truth: whether you realize it or not, your EQ, your emotional intelligence quotient, is either relentlessly working for you or tragically against you in every single facet of your life. It's the shocking reason why some people effortlessly command respect, while others are consistently overlooked. It's why certain leaders inspire unwavering loyalty, while others struggle to even be heard. It's the untold story behind relationships that thrive versus those that crumble into dust. This is what truly separates those who skyrocket to success from those who remain perpetually stuck. Now, let's get uncomfortably real for a moment. How many unparalleled opportunities have simply slipped through your fingers because you couldn't control your own emotions, or worse, completely misread the emotions of others? How many crucial conversations spiraled into agonizing conflicts? How many moments of crippling hesitation cost you something immeasurably valuable? How often have you replayed an interaction endlessly in your mind, agonizing, "I should have said that instead"? The raw, unfiltered truth is most people stumble through life reacting rather than truly understanding. They allow their emotions to hijack their decisions, completely unaware of the subtle, destructive dance happening within them. They assume communication is merely about words, blind to the unspoken messages hidden in a fleeting tone, an expression, or even the slightest shift in body language. They take everything personally, fatally misinterpret intentions, and allow unchecked negative emotions to dictate their every move. But here's the game-changing revelation they tragically miss. Mastering emotional intelligence isn't just about becoming better with people. It's about fundamentally mastering yourself. It's about knowing precisely what to say, how to say it, and most crucially, when to remain powerfully silent. IQ versus EQ, the shocking truth. Before we rip back the curtain further, let's dismantle a massive misconception. Emotional intelligence isn't some fuzzy, feel-good concept reserved for therapists or inspiring TED Talk speakers. This is a cold, hard, science-backed skill set directly tied to undeniable success in relationships, meteoric career advancement, powerful leadership, and profound mental well-being. In fact, multiple groundbreaking studies have definitively proven that your EQ is a far, far better predictor of real-world success than your IQ. Think about that for a second. High emotional intelligence doesn't just lead to stronger relationships, it translates into dramatically higher earning potential, unparalleled decision-making under pressure, and a resilience that bends but never breaks in the face of immense stress. Why? Because emotions drive everything. Your decisions, your ingrained habits, your most intimate relationships, your ability to subtly persuade, your astonishing resilience when facing brutal setbacks, all of it. The limbic system, that ancient part of your brain responsible for processing every raw emotion, is intricately connected with the very regions responsible for complex decision-making, ingenious problem-solving, and crystal-clear memory. This means no matter how logical you desperately believe yourself to be, your emotions are relentlessly influencing you in ways you may not even remotely realize. For instance, cold hard data shows that individuals with higher emotional intelligence rake in, on average, a staggering $29,000 more per year than those with lower EQ. Why? They navigate the treacherous waters of workplace politics with effortless grace. They handle brutal feedback with astonishing effectiveness, and they lead with an unshakable confidence that draws people in. In the realm of relationships, couples armed with high emotional intelligence are exponentially more likely to resolve explosive conflicts constructively, forging deeper, more fulfilling connections that withstand any storm. Leaders possessing a high EQ are universally more trusted, far more persuasive, and infinitely more capable of inspiring entire teams because they grasp human motivation at its deepest, most primal core. In the rapid-fire pace of everyday interactions, high EQ individuals are breathtakingly socially adaptable, reading the most subtle cues and adjusting their approach with pinpoint accuracy based on what the unpredictable situation demands. Now, here's the true game changer they tragically miss. Mastering emotional intelligence isn't just about becoming better with people. It's about fundamentally mastering yourself. It's about knowing precisely what to say, how to say it, and most crucially, when to remain powerfully silent. IQ versus EQ, the shocking truth. Before we rip back the curtain further, let's dismantle a massive misconception. Emotional intelligence isn't some fuzzy, feel-good concept reserved for therapists or inspiring TED Talk speakers. This is a cold, hard science-backed skill set directly tied to undeniable success in relationships, meteoric career advancement, powerful leadership, and profound mental well-being. In fact, multiple groundbreaking studies have definitively proven that your EQ is a far, far better predictor of real-world success than your IQ. Think about that for a second. High emotional intelligence doesn't just lead to stronger relationships. It translates into dramatically higher earning potential, unparalleled decision-making under pressure, and a resilience that bends but never breaks in the face of immense stress. Why? Because emotions drive everything. Your decisions, your ingrained habits, your most intimate relationships, your ability to subtly persuade, your astonishing resilience when facing brutal setbacks, all of it. The limbic system, that ancient part of your brain responsible for processing every raw emotion, is intricately connected with the very regions responsible for complex decision-making, ingenious problem-solving, and crystal-clear memory. This means no matter how logical you desperately believe yourself to be, your emotions are relentlessly influencing you in ways you may not even remotely realize. For instance, cold hard data shows that individuals with higher emotional intelligence rake in, on average, a staggering $29,000 more per year than those with lower EQ. Why? They navigate the treacherous waters of workplace politics with effortless grace. They handle brutal feedback with astonishing effectiveness, and they lead with an unshakable confidence that draws people in. In the realm of relationships, couples armed with high emotional intelligence are exponentially more likely to resolve explosive conflicts constructively, forging deeper, more fulfilling connections that withstand any storm. Leaders possessing a high EQ are universally more trusted, far more persuasive, and infinitely more capable of inspiring entire teams because they grasp human motivation at its deepest, most primal core.
In the rapid-fire pace of everyday interactions, high EQ individuals are breathtakingly socially adaptable, reading the most subtle cues and adjusting their approach with pinpoint accuracy based on what the unpredictable situation demands. Now here's the true game changer. Unlike your IQ, which is largely fixed, emotional intelligence can be relentlessly developed, rigorously trained, and profoundly strengthened at any point in your life. That means no matter where you stand right now, whether you battle crippling emotional control issues, agonizing social anxiety, or perpetually difficult conversations, you possess the astonishing ability to dramatically amplify your EQ and utterly transform how you interact with the world around you. The silent saboteurs, how emotions betray you. From the split second your eyes flutter open in the morning to the moment your head hits the pillow at night, emotions are covertly shaping your thoughts, dictating your decisions, and influencing every single interaction in ways you may not even remotely grasp. Consider a typical unsuspecting day. You blindly check your phone first thing in the morning, and a single email instantly triggers a wave of frustration. Before you've even swung your legs out of bed, your entire mood has violently shifted. Perhaps it's a gnawing disappointment, a creeping annoyance, or a surge of pure stress, and suddenly your meticulously planned morning feels fundamentally different. You grab your coffee, and some reckless driver cuts you off in traffic. A flash of pure irritation, perhaps even incandescent anger, ignites within you. For the next 5 minutes, you're mentally replaying the incident, shaking your head in furious disbelief at their perceived rudeness. You arrive at work, sit through a crucial meeting, and notice how someone barely acknowledges your input. Was it intentional? Are they deliberately dismissing you? Now a subtle, insidious self-doubt begins to fester in the back of your mind, and it imperceptibly alters the very way you engage with others throughout the entire day. Every single one of these seemingly insignificant moments is a stark reflection of emotional intelligence in play, either its powerful presence or its devastating absence. Emotional intelligence determines how rapidly you shake off that lingering frustration, whether you take every slight personally, how accurately you decipher people's true intentions, and crucially, how you manage the way emotions mercilessly guide every single decision. The profound issue is, most of us never even notice this intricate process unfolding in real time. We blindly believe our thoughts and reactions are inherent, that they simply happen. But in brutal reality, they are meticulously shaped by deeply ingrained emotional patterns, many of which remain stubbornly outside our conscious awareness. The very way you handle crushing setbacks, the way you react to searing criticism, the way you interpret other people's words and actions, these are all deeply etched habits formed over years, influenced by your upbringing, your past traumatic experiences, and even the subtle conditioning of your culture. And unless you consciously, deliberately examine these patterns, they will continue to define your trajectory through life, often without your explicit permission. Beyond awareness, the power of control and choice. To truly master emotional intelligence, the first, most unforgivingly crucial step is awareness. You simply cannot change what you refuse to see. Imagine for a moment if every time you felt a surge of frustration or crushing stress, you possessed the power to pause, to recognize precisely what was unfolding internally, and then to consciously choose a superior response instead of being violently swept away by the raw tide of emotion. That profound level of awareness is precisely what separates those who command their emotions from those who are utterly controlled by them. It's the stark difference between a person who explodes in a fit of rage and instantly regrets it, and someone who artfully channels that very frustration into constructive, powerful action. It's what empowers an individual to see beyond their initial knee-jerk reaction, whether it's burning defensiveness, searing irritation, or profound sadness, and make a deliberate choice that aligns with their long-term strategic goals rather than their immediate fleeting feelings. But why do so many people relentlessly struggle with emotional awareness? The answer, shockingly, is simple. From an alarmingly early age, most of us are never explicitly taught how to recognize, process, or effectively regulate our turbulent emotions. Instead, we instinctively develop intricate coping mechanisms, largely based on what we observe in our immediate environments. If you were raised in a household where emotions were ruthlessly dismissed or invalidated, you may have tragically learned to suppress your deepest feelings rather than truly process them. If you were constantly surrounded by individuals who reacted aggressively to conflict, you may have unknowingly absorbed the destructive idea that emotions must be expressed through explosive anger or desperate defensiveness. If you were meticulously taught that certain emotions, like profound sadness or painful vulnerability, were unmistakable signs of weakness, you may have conditioned yourself to avoid them at all costs. These subconscious, insidious beliefs don't miraculously vanish as we age. They relentlessly shape our emotional responses well into adulthood, dictating how we navigate relationships, how we cope with soul-crushing stress, and even how we define true success. Think about your own emotional habits for a raw, honest moment. When you're completely overwhelmed, do you withdraw into yourself or lash out violently? When someone fundamentally disagrees with you, do you genuinely listen, or do you immediately slam shut, becoming defensive? When you inevitably make a mistake, do you mercilessly criticize yourself endlessly, or do you learn from it and powerfully move on? These patterns didn't emerge overnight, and they certainly won't vanish overnight. But recognizing them, truly seeing them, is the first monumental step. Emotional intelligence begins with a terrifying but liberating understanding of your own emotional blueprint, that unique, intricate set of beliefs, habits, and reactions that shape every daily interaction. It demands that you ask yourself difficult yet absolutely necessary questions. Where did I learn this response? Is it genuinely helping me, or is it ruthlessly holding me back? What would a more emotionally intelligent response actually look like in this exact situation? One of the most potent, life-altering realizations you can ever have about emotional intelligence is this: it doesn't mean annihilating emotions. It means understanding them so profoundly, so intimately, that they no longer possess the power to control you. Imagine you're trapped in a heated, escalating argument, and you feel that primal urge to raise your voice, to dominate, to force the other person to capitulate to your perspective.
But instead of blindly reacting on impulse, you pause. You recognize the inferno of anger bubbling up inside you, and instead of letting it dictate your every move, you seize control. You consciously slow your breathing. You analyze the volatile situation from a detached, broader perspective. And then you deliberately choose words that de-escalate rather than relentlessly intensify the conflict. This, precisely, is what distinguishes emotionally intelligent individuals from those who are perpetually ruled by their emotions: awareness, control, and choice. Unmasking your emotional blueprint. The good news, the truly revolutionary news, is that emotional intelligence is not a fixed, immutable trait. It is a formidable skill that can be developed, fiercely strengthened, and perpetually refined. The more relentlessly you practice self-awareness, the easier it becomes. The more diligently you train yourself to regulate your emotional responses, the more effortlessly natural it feels. And as you relentlessly sharpen your uncanny ability to read and understand others, your relationships, both profoundly personal and strategically professional, will begin an astonishing transformation. People radiating high emotional intelligence possess an almost mystical, magnetic quality. They make others feel deeply heard, utterly understood, and profoundly valued.
They navigate the minefield of conflict with a serene ease, and they possess the almost supernatural ability to consistently bring out the absolute best in everyone around them. But this isn't some ethereal magic. It is a meticulously cultivated skill set that you too can master. To embark on this journey, one of the most immediately effective exercises for dramatically increasing your emotional awareness is to begin tracking your emotional triggers. Over the next few days, pay unyielding attention to the exact moments when your emotions intensify. What specific situations ignite your anxiety? What conversations leave you feeling inexplicably defensive? What interactions mercilessly drain your energy? And which ones, conversely, genuinely uplift you? The objective here is not to harshly judge these raw emotions, but to simply recognize the patterns. If you frequently find yourself inexplicably irritated in certain situations, relentlessly ask yourself, what is truly triggering this response? Is it the external situation itself, or is it an unresolved emotional belief that I unconsciously carry within me? For example, if criticism makes you unusually, irrationally defensive, is it because the words were objectively unfair? Or is it because deep down you've conditioned yourself to associate any criticism with profound failure? These subtle yet immensely powerful realizations are the key to fundamentally rewriting your entire emotional script. Understanding your emotions, however, is merely the beginning. The next critical step is learning how to manage them with absolute effectiveness. Many mistakenly assume that controlling emotions means ruthlessly suppressing them, but the exact opposite is the undeniable truth. Emotional intelligence is about processing emotions in a way that empowers you to respond with profound wisdom, instead of blindly reacting on impulse. This demands developing potent coping mechanisms that allow you to master your emotional state, whether through the calming power of mindfulness, the transformative act of reframing your perspective, or the conscious, deliberate shifting of your focus. It also means meticulously rewiring the very way you interpret situations, so that emotions no longer dictate your actions, but serve as powerful guides. The 4 pillars, decoding the EQ superpower. Have you ever wondered why certain individuals remain astonishingly calm when faced with immense pressure, while others instantly spiral into crippling anxiety? Or why some people effortlessly command respect in every interaction, while others, despite their brilliance, struggle simply to be heard? The mind-blowing answer lies in 4 distinct yet intricately interconnected components of emotional intelligence. These 4 foundational pillars, self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management, serve as the unshakable blueprint for mastering your own turbulent emotions, navigating the complex maze of relationships with breathtaking ease, and cultivating a magnetic presence that relentlessly draws people towards you. The astonishing ability to profoundly understand yourself, to expertly regulate your own reactions, to accurately interpret the emotions of others, and to master every social dynamic is not merely a skill, it is a true superpower that unequivocally shapes every ounce of your personal and professional success. Each of these pillars plays a crucial, irreplaceable role in determining how you interact with the world. Once you fully grasp them, you'll begin to see, with startling clarity, how they subtly influence every single conversation, every pivotal decision, and every precious relationship in your life. The untapped potential. What happens when you master EQ? Now, let's talk about the incredible transformation awaiting you. What does a life truly look like when you've unlocked your full emotional intelligence? Imagine navigating every challenge with an almost unsettling calm, inspiring unwavering trust in everyone you meet, and effortlessly connecting with others on a level that feels profoundly real and deeply meaningful. This isn't the realm of gifted individuals. It's the inevitable outcome of mastering a trainable, accessible skill. You become the person who commands respect without demanding it, who diffuses explosive conflicts with a mere turn of phrase, and who moves through life with an unshakable inner poise that draws people in like a powerful current. Your conversations flow with an unforced authenticity. Your decisions are driven by clear purpose rather than impulsive emotion, and your relationships become pillars of genuine connection. This isn't just about avoiding missteps. It's about actively building a life where you feel more in control, more connected, and profoundly more fulfilled. Conclusion: your future unlocked. So here we stand, at a crossroads. Will you continue to let unseen emotions and crippling social blind spots dictate your destiny? Or are you finally ready to seize control, to peel back the layers of subconscious conditioning, and to unlock the most powerful version of yourself? This journey isn't just about understanding emotional intelligence. It's about embodying it, letting it transform the very fabric of your existence. The power to reshape your interactions, to master your reactions, and to genuinely influence your world doesn't lie in some distant, unattainable talent. It lies within the untapped depths of your own emotional intelligence, waiting to be unleashed. The question isn't if you can master this, but are you truly ready to begin?